Okay, this is really, really super exciting tonight. Um, all the way from North Carolina, we have one of Team B's favourite sisters from the US. Her name is Courtney Genett-O'Donnell. She's a national marketing director. She's a 50 club, but not only that, Courtney is a mum of 5 kids. And she has always been a great friend of all of ours, especially the leaders in the business who've had the opportunity to meet her over the years. She's a great friend of mine, and I'm so excited that she's on the call so she can just share how she made it to the top in this business, being an extremely busy woman. So, Court, I love you, darling, and off you go.
Thank you, love. You guys are so awesome. This is fun, right? This is what we do. I love that this business is virtual because I can do this while I take my kids to school and share and inspire, and that's really what it's all about. So I started this business about 7 years ago, a little over 7 years ago now, and for me, I had no idea what it would be, and I knew that I needed another business like I needed a hole in my head because I was so busy. But I was busy being busy. I don't know if you've ever thought about that before, but having 5 small children, they were 12 and under at the time. My youngest, Mia, was 1. And I was working a lot. I had my own business. I'm still a personal trainer, but I was personal training. And I had 17 clients at the time and 15 boot camps that I was running out of my home a week. So it was crazy. But what I found was I was locked behind closed doors, or I was outside teaching boot camp. I was away from my kids. You know, you can't train people while you have your child with you, like we're doing this now. And so I love the idea of I can actually make money while I'm with my children. I'd never done a business like this before. I didn't even know anybody that did anything like this. So this was a new concept for me. And so I began my journey slowly. I'll say that. I kind of dipped my toes in the water. Not everybody does that, but I'm out there once I get started, but I'm pretty cautious with new things. So I wanted to do things that were true to who I was. At the time, I was very, very social, still am, but very, very social. I was the Bunko Club president, which is like a fun dice game that girls play here while we drink wine. And so I ran that. It was like a massive party every month that we did. And I was book club. I hosted book clubs out of my home and just lots of social stuff. So I knew that I could get people into my home. Another thing that I've always been a huge fan of is supporting other women in business. So I was always having parties at my house for other people, selling purses or makeup or jewelry, any excuse to have girlfriends over to my house. So when I started the business, I thought, this is how people know me. They know me that if you come to my house, you're going to get a little wine, you're going to have some laughs and have some fun. And I could get more people to my house at once than I could one-on-one. So that's how I started my business. Now, I'll be completely honest, at the very first time that I had people over, the girl that sponsored me talked me into it. And I was very reluctant. For those of you who heard my story, it kind of caught me off guard with that phone call at dinner time while I was nursing a baby and had toddlers running around, and it was homework time and all of that. So I said yes because I wanted them to leave me alone. But when I did the actual event, I just said, I don't want them to know I'm selling anything. Has anybody ever had that? Somebody say that? I don't want anybody to think that I'm selling them anything. And that was exactly how I felt. So I ignored the girl, and she did all the work. She earned her bonus, her $250 bonus. I turned my back to her, wouldn't let her play a video. She spoke to everyone sweetly, kindly, and she signed up 9 customers and a teammate for me that day, all whilst I was just socializing and enjoying my time with my girlfriends that had come inside after boot camp with me. I'm so sorry, the sun's bright. And I thought, gosh, I didn't even do anything. I mean, I'm going to earn money. And she said, yeah. I thought, well, what do I have to do next? And so I started doing these wine and wellnesses. That appealed to me. Having some girlfriends over for a glass of wine and hanging out, getting to socialize. I started off with showing the videos. We no longer show videos at the wine and wellnesses, but back then it was great because I didn't have to say anything. And how duplicatable is that? Throw in the video, a glass of wine, have a smoothie, and sign up. So it was easy for me. I fast tracked, and again, I had to do this business in stolen moments. I started off with because I knew that, pardon, no pun intended with this, but I could get the biggest bang for my buck. I could, for that 1 hour, I could get in front of 10 to 15, sometimes 20 women and really make an impact. And what I found was that sorry, there's policemen in front of me and I'm in a school zone. I just want to make sure I don't get a ticket. Anyway, so I lost my train of thought. What was I saying? Anyway, so I got in front of these women. I did this, and I stolen moments. That's where I was. So I did this business in stolen moments, like this. When the kids went down for a nap, I got to work. I jumped on the phone. I would get a sitter I know each of my kids had like their own sitter. It was during their time when they needed somebody to play with them. So I didn't have 4 or 5 sitters, so not that. But like when Emma and Jacob they're 18 months apart, when they were toddlers, I got a babysitter that would play with them for a couple of hours so that I could go and meet people for coffee. It would be a young teenage girl, so it wouldn't cost me a lot of money, but a couple of hours, and they thought it was great. They were like, wow, somebody's coming to play with us. This is the best ever. And I would go and have coffee and socialize and share my passion and excitement and tell people about the business. And I would take my little one with me, my baby, because I was still nursing her, Mia. And I found that it just came as part of who I was. And that's what happened, is that over time, Juice Plus became less of what I did and more of who I am. And when that shifted, when that little bit shifted, and I started thinking, everywhere I went, who am I going to see? Who am I going to get to talk to today? What opportunities do I have in my day to just share and inspire? I literally, it was not easy. I'm going to say this, that I did have some disappointments along the way. And so I want to be very clear with that, and that this is what I did. My second teammate, my sister-in-law, so it's my brother's wife, became a teammate. And I was so excited, y'all, because she was young and she was fresh and she wanted to be a mom one day. She wasn't yet. And so we started doing the business together. And then one day I got an email from my upline national marketing director that said, FYI, Kristen no longer wants to be a part of the business. And I went, what? That was my sister-in-law. She didn't call me. She didn't talk to me. She contacted my upline to quit the business. Now, it's so funny when those memories on Facebook come up, because the memory that comes up for that day, so long ago, was I was disciplining my disappointments. And that was one thing that I learned to do early on, and my upline taught me this, was that disappointments are going to happen. It's how you respond and react to them that makes all the difference in the world. And so I chose to put it in its place, to not let it define me. As a matter of fact, I remember my upline saying to me, I can either allow this to bury me, or I can allow it to light a fire under me. And that's what I did, is it lit a fire under me. And I said, I'm going to be successful in spite of you quitting the business. And I hope that when I'm making a lot of money, you don't come to me complaining about money. That was like my thoughts, And so every time I would get a no, I would think about her and think, I'm not quitting. I'm not going to quit. I'm just going to keep going. And it's so interesting now. I was talking to a sideline friend yesterday, and he was saying, I'm teaching my team to go for no. How many no's can you get? Because really, Natalie and I, Natalie is 100 plus club, and I'm at 50, but we just have a few more no's than you all, or maybe a few thousand more no's. And I've got really tough skin. And what I really learned to do was to compartmentalize and say, I know that they're not saying no to me. They're saying not right now to Juice Plus. And once I got that in my head, I didn't take it personally. I let go of the outcomes, and I would literally go and meet with people just to see what they would say. I kind of found it a challenge. If they would say no, I'd say awesome. And I'm pretty much known for putting people politely in my Southern way in their place. When somebody says, oh, we eat enough fruits and vegetables, I say, whoa, you do? You're awesome. So tell me how you're getting, seriously, 13 servings of raw vegetables and fruit in your kid every single day. And where are you shopping? Because where I shop, the bananas are green and the avocados are like baseballs. Like nothing's vine ripened. You're like superwoman. I want to be like you when I grow up. Tell me, what are you doing? What's your secret? And they're like looking at me with big saucer eyes. Or when I'd offer someone the opportunity of business and they would say, oh, I'm good where I am. I'm happy at my job. I go, great. What do you do? What is it that you do? And I've had everything from a barista to the checkout girl at the grocery store. And I say, is that your dream job? You're like living the life. Really? They must pay you really well because I'm never happy. I want more. And they all just kind of look at me and I say it's sweet and fun and smile. But it makes them think. And I think it's okay to be strong in who you are and be proud of what you do. And also make people think. And that's something that Natalie's done with me, is she's always made me stop and not just accept a face value answer, but to dig a little deeper. And I know that she's done that with you all. And I definitely have gotten to some deeper layers as I've figured out better of who I am. And I think through these stolen moments and these small successes, I'm going to share a little more. They're getting ready to get out of the car. I'll share a little more. But these small successes that I've had is that I've gotten more self-confidence. For a while there, with having babies, I felt like I kind of lost a little bit of my self-esteem, a little bit, just from the perspective of watching your body change so drastically up and down. And the bus is here. I'm going to say bye to my kids. Bye. I love you. Oh, you come around. Okay. Bye, buddy. I love you. I'm so sorry. You're going to go and I'll get some juicy stuff. Hold on. Give me kisses. Quick. It's being recorded. Run. Bye, buddy. I love you. Mwah. Mwah. I love you. I'll see you after the bus. And that's how I do this. So I have grown as a person through all of this, through the ups and downs of having children and having hormones and life changes, marriage changes. I dug deeper and got to the real me. And what's really cool is that for so long, I was who everybody else wanted me to be. I grew up with a mom that was Susie Homemaker, so we call him here, Martha Stewart, just perfect. She made everything. She made all her clothes. She made all homemade dinners from scratch. Like there was nothing in a box in our house. Everything was homemade. And I think when I was a kid, I was thinking, how the heck am I going to do that? First off, I don't want to ever make anything. I just don't. I remember thinking, I just want to buy stuff. I don't want somebody else to paint my nails. And I was just the opposite of my mom. So as a young woman at 22, I met my soon-to-be ex, and at 24, I was married. At 25, I was having my first child, and I had no idea who I was. I had the image of who my mom was, and that was all I had. I didn't know. I knew I wanted to be career focused, but I didn't know how I was going to do that. See, the man that I married didn't make very much money. As a matter of fact, I, as a personal trainer, made more money than he did. And so a lot of the finances was on my shoulders. So I hid a lot of the struggles that I was going through. out of pride probably, but also naivety. I didn't know. I mean, I just did what I was taught, and that was, you have babies, you live in a cute little house with a white picket fence, and you make homemade dinners, and you look cute, right? And that was not who I was at all. As a matter of fact, it was interesting. Over the years, the more I pushed down who I was, the more unhappy I became. And so I don't even know that I've ever even shared all of this before. This is the first. But this business made me take a deeper look at myself. Because I think anytime you start getting people saying no to you, or you start seeing how great people can be in a business like this, you think, well, what about me? And you start to look at yourself in the mirror, and maybe with a different light. You know how we get good lights for selfies and some lights are better than others? Well, that's what this business did for me. It put me in a different light, and it was a first for me. And I began to see myself as successful for the first time. I always felt like a failure because I couldn't keep up with my mom. Anybody relate with that? I couldn't do what she did. And so I love that I began to become a truer version of myself. And that was that I'm a little clumsy, and I like to laugh a lot, and sometimes I snort. Natalie knows that. I like to be loud, and I like to talk a lot, which has been a learning lesson for me, to shut my mouth sometimes. And I love to help others grow. Nothing gives me more pride than to see my team grow up and become so strong and independent, kind of like my kids. And it's interesting because Natalie the other night did a beautiful training for our Pajama Regional. And this is interesting, you all, because she said, she was talking about how she felt as a mommy, and I related 110%. I've always said, every chance I've gotten to speak, people are like, oh, you're a mom of 5. Are you Catholic, and do you homeschool? That's what people always said to me. I'm like, neither. I'm the most selfish mom of 5 children that you'll ever meet. And here's why. Because I didn't get that mommy gene. That's what I always say. I didn't get that mommy gene. I remember my sponsor saying, I can't wait to go home and just smell my kids' faces. And I was like, ew, why would you want to do that? Like, that does not appeal to me at all. Like, I want to hug them, and then I want to send them on their way. So no, I'm not going to homeschool my kids. That's why there's public schools. That's why they go to school. But one of my values is leadership. And my kids are super independent. Why? Because I'm raising up leaders, because that's one of my values. My children are like my teammates. I'm bringing them up to be super independent from the time that my oldest 2, who are now 19 and 17, were 2 and 4. I taught my 4-year-old to help my 2-year-old get her breakfast every morning so that I did not have to get up at the crack of dawn and make them breakfast. I didn't know that that was something that was a value of mine. I just knew that I needed them to be independent. I needed them to be self-sufficient. And let me tell you something, my kids all make their own breakfast. They wake themselves up in the morning. As a matter of fact, sometimes they come in and wake me up. They make their own lunches. They like to help make dinner. They clean up around, they all have their chores, and they do them because I have empowered them. I have given them almost authority in the house that to take ownership of where they are. And that's something this business has taught me, is that I can do that and be a good mommy, because I am. Those kids, and like Natalie was saying the other night, is that we can, family, my children is definitely, relationships are on my list of values. But me being able to live in the value of leadership links it back to my children, and it all connects together. And so that my kids now have seen me be a better mommy, because I get to be in that leadership. I get to help people be successful. I get to help people grow into who they are. And so it's given them confidence that they can do it too. So now my kids say to me, Mommy, I want to do what you do. When can I have a franchise? When can I? And when's going to be the next event? And can I help? It's very interesting to see that. Now, again, this was a process and a journey for me. It didn't come overnight. I learned along the way, and I didn't want to interrupt my family time and my kid time as I was then not being true to who I was. And so I did everything that I did was in those stolen moments. When my kids were on the soccer field, I was on the sidelines talking to other mommies. I would bring smoothies. I was that mom that didn't bring the fun snacks after the soccer game. I would bring my little Juice Plus snacks, chew snacks, or healthy cookies, or orange slices and waters. I didn't bring the Cheetos and the Kool-Aids for the kids to have, but my kids saw that I was strong in my beliefs, and it has made them strong in their beliefs. And I love that. You see how it all kind of comes together, is that you can be true to your beliefs and who you are, and your kids fit right into all of that. And I want them now, as they're growing up, to be to not just be sideline viewers of my business, but to be active participants in my business. One of my guys, my little Jacob, he's super shy. He's 11, and so it's hard for him to come down during an event and even have a smoothie or anything, because he doesn't want people to look at him. So he helps me with things before the events. And then my other girls are wide open and love to have their faces in the middle of everyone, and are definitely a part of all of that. I'll say this, as life changes have happened for me, and I'm now a single mom, these 3 live with me full time. The older 2 are still with their daddy, and they come and visit and hang out, but they're going off to college and are young adults themselves. Is that this business has given me hope. It's given me the ability to make choices. It's given me the ability to be independent, be a strong woman, to be a good role model for my children, but to have that bit of hope in life that my kids are watching and seeing that everything's going to be okay. I think that's what they look at us for, right? They look to us no matter what happens in life, whether it's something as small as a car accident or something happening that's off schedule or out of plans. They look to us. Is everything going to be okay? And what's cool is that through this journey, this part of my life, I've learned that everything is going to be okay. And because of this business and the dreams that I now have, my kids sat down and made vision boards with me last night. We made a family vision board, what we want to do over the next year. And they're now dreaming again, because I can tell you, from the stifled, stale environment that I was in before, my kids were in survival mode, and I didn't know it until we had freedom and we were able to truly live in who we are, and to be excited about the little things, and to do the things that we enjoy. They're now living a truer form of themselves as well, and it's just been awesome. So Natalie, I don't know if I covered everything. You know a lot of my story, but
no, I do you know what, darling? I just find you so humble, and so honest and raw. And I think it's important for people to see each other's vulnerabilities. I just think maybe we should get everyone who wants to ask a question, maybe just pop it in the chat, and then I'll read them out and ask them to you, Court, because awesome. I'm sure there are team members that really want to know. So Lachlan's asked, as a single parent, I wanted to say thank you for sharing. Inspirational. I love your approach to parenting. P.S. It's football, not soccer.
Yes. And actually, football here is the big football here. In that, my oldest son plays football. So yeah, they played soccer when they were little. That was just to get them running.
And Courtney, Lachlan's new. He just made fast track DVF in 12 days.
Oh my gosh!
I think he's doubled it. He went way over. And he is a single parent looking after children by himself, and he's a young dad. I think he's about 25, 26 years old. I mean, what would you say to Lachlan?
You know what is beautiful is that so I've heard a lot of people that use their kids as an excuse why they can't do things. My kids are the reason I do things. So I look at every opportunity to have them involved in sports and have them involved in activities, because not only does that put them in great social situations, but that also gives me the opportunity to meet and chat with other parents. And so I find that I'm actually more social because of my kids, because it gives me the opportunity. Even having other children over to my home to play, I have unexpected conversations. I'm not somebody that throws up Juice Plus on people, but when they come into my home, you get to be my audience, right? You know, they come to my home, they see all of my Juice Plus things, and it's a great conversation. And I have, because of my children, been able to share my business more actively because it forces me to be in those social situations. So just keep sharing your heart, just keep loving your kids, and be that positive role model and inspiration for them, because I promise you they're going to start bringing people to you if they haven't already. My kids come to me all the time and say, Mom, you need to talk to my teacher. She's been sick. And they open the door for me, and I just walk through the door and get to change lives through that. So yes, it's awesome.
Thanks for that. Can I ask a quick question? Have you tried to tackle like the actual school that your kids go to itself?
Well, in the last school that they were at, it was a private school. And so, yes, I did a lot more. I was a lot more active with it there. They're in a public school. It's a community school now. And there's a lot of Juice Plus reps in there. So I'm kind of not the in-your-face forceful one. So I just, I kind of step back and shine the light of who I am, and then let people come to me, especially in that type of a situation. The only thing I have done, and I don't think you all have tower gardens, is I did like buy a tower garden and stuff, but I've gone in and I got little special cases for my kids for their chewies and my little girls, and bedazzled them and like made them fun. So when they go into school, they don't get their little fruit chew packages like all the other kids with the sugar. They get their Juice Plus chews with their bedazzled cases. And when they open them up, all the other kids want to know, what is that? So I get calls from mommy saying, my daughter or my kid wants to know what's in that special case your kid brings to school every day. So I kind of do things like that. That's just my style. You can definitely work with staff. We've done that with our team, is going into to the principal or to the head of school and asking if you can do a wellness presentation or some type of a healthy living presentation for the staff, the faculty at the school. We've done that before, and that works great. Yeah. Yeah, at least gives them the idea, lets them know, and they can maybe refer people to you parents as they come in with concerns.
Yeah, brilliant. Thanks for that.
Sure.
Super exciting, Kerry.
Lockie, this is a really big team full of mostly women. So sorry about this. Sorry, everybody.
It's okay.
Congratulations to you. And
that always happens. Like
That's
it's
okay.
full of mums. There's lots of mums. You can always ask us about going into schools. Abby, Valerie, myself, Tracy, we've been into, and Jennifer Burkhead, we've all been into these schools. And sometimes there's a certain way to do it. So, make sure you connect with us and we'll help you.
Yeah.
Yeah, cheers for that. I've been thinking about hitting up some old corporate colleagues of mine, hitting up some schools, thinking big.
Okay, guys. Well, you know what? As much as I want us to keep going, and Courtney and I could talk forever, we love you, but we keep these calls to half an hour. So if anyone's got anything they want to ask Courtney, please just private message or put a question on the Facebook feed that I just popped up on Team B, and I will endeavour to get those questions answered by Courtney. But we just really want to say to you, darling, thank you always for being so real and sharing your heart. And we love you to pieces, and we will see you on the next Zoom call, either me to you or you to us.
Absolutely. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Have a good night. Thanks for having me.
Bye.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.